21, center fielder.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. The nightcap of this St. Mary's Rattler doubleheader will feature two nationally ranked teams, the visiting number 13 Central Oklahoma Broncos and the number 4 St. Mary's Rattlers. Rattlers coming off an impressive victory just moments ago against Tarleton State. And now in the circle pitching for the Rattlers is Viana Gutierrez touchtone. Brian Magliuan sitting alongside the one and only Ruben Dominguez calling this ball game. And Ruben, you're here for the first game the Rattlers played in this Rattler Invitational just mere minutes ago. What were your thoughts on that Rattler performance against Tarleton State?
Well, Brian, thanks for having me. I thought it was a really good performance from the girls. They had some really good at-bats that ultimately put them ahead and put the game away for them. So we'll see if they can continue that coming into this second game.
And the count now at 2-1. Gutierrez touchtone in the circle for St. Mary's, having a stellar start to her senior season. As that bunt is laid down, Sartlich charging at it, and the throw to first is in time as Villa went over to cover the bag, and that's one away.
Action ring at number 8, left fielder Shelby Carroll.
Gutierrez touchtone deal, swing and a miss. That's strike one. Twist and deal, off-speed pitch. Just misses the outside corner. Count all even at 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's the 1-1 pitch. That one slapped over to Sartlich over at third, and her throw off the mark, and that a rare error from Nicole Sartlich.
Yeah, uncharacteristic there from Nicole, but we'll see if she can settle down and ultimately get us out of the inning.
That's Marina Ali Zalula.
So runner on second for the Broncos. And that one popped into the air. Wellman able to snag it in foul territory. Nice job, able to track that short pop fly in foul territory, and that's 2 away. As Zuckerman gets set to dig in.
Really good awareness there from Wellman to get down the first baseline into foul territory and get that out there for the second.
First pitch, a ball. 1-0. Zuckerman takes that pitch for a ball. Quickly the count goes to 3-0. Brooke Zuckerman, a junior from Lawton. And 4-pitch walk assessed. And now with 2 away, runners on first and second as Morgan Hurd digs in.
Morgan Hurd.
First pitch outside for a ball, so 5 consecutive pitches from Gutierrez touchstone misses the plate. So 1-0 the count now to Hurd. The twist and delivery. Another pitch. 2-0 now.
2-0 count.
That's 6 straight balls from her. Really uncharacteristic.
The home plate umpire really calling the plate tightly here. That pitch misses outside yet again. 7 straight pitches misses the strike zone as A-Rod calls for time. And while they're discussing, let's take the time out now to meet the Rattler lineup. Over at left field, Vadreen. Center is Nash. Fields over at right field. Sardalich over at third. Medina at short. Villa at second as a 4-pitch walk yet again is assessed. And much to the dislike of the hometown crowd, bases are loaded with 2 outs for Central Oklahoma as Ashton Smith digs in. Wellman over at first, and doing the catching is Rodriguez. And the circle is Gutierrez touchstone. And finally, after 8 straight pitches, Gutierrez touchstone able to lay one in there. And I don't think that could have been any more of a strike. That one was right down the heart of the plate. Fortunately for the Rattlers, it wasn't pounced upon. That one outside, A-Rod able to hold on to it. Bases are loaded with 2 outs, 1-1 count. That one grounded to Sardalich hard, but she will take it to third for the force out as St. Mary's able to avoid any damage being done.
No runs unnoted. 1 error was committed.
1 error was committed this half inning by the Rattlers, but they're able to hold on as the score remains 0-0 as we head to the bottom of the first. Rattlers due up next right here on the Rattler Network. Bottom of the first inning about to get started. Brian Maglione alongside Ruben Dominguez. First pitch from Walker. High and tight. 1-0 the count to Nicole Sardulich. Second pitch, virtually the same location as Walker, struggling to find her mark. Walker 2-0 on the season with a 6.28 ERA. Off-speed pitch, able to sink and find its way across the plate. 2-1 the count. Now one well inside again. And Ruben, this is something we rarely see from opponents that the Rattlers play. Pitches inside. Normally we're accustomed to seeing teams try to pitch outside and try to prevent the power hitters of the Rattlers to get a hold of one, as the count now full at 3-2.
It's really a strange sight to see, Brian, but we'll see if Central Oklahoma's pitching can pay off here.
The 3-2 pitch, and that was fought off by Sardulich. The 3-2 breaking ball, and it misses its mark. And a leadoff walk assessed to Nicole Sardulich as Taylor Vidrine gets set to take her first at bat of this ball game. Vidrine was showing bunt. That one outside. Two and 0 the count to Taylor Vidrine, who fouls that one back. 2-1.
And Brian, you know, I'm sitting here thinking to myself, what opposing pitchers must have with the thoughts in their head when they come to face the top of this Rattlers lineup. I mean, there is so much experience and depth in hitting that it must be tough to kick off the game like that, as the ball is hit into foul territory.
And Ruben, that is a fair thought, and this is what opposing pitchers have had to deal with over the past several years. This Rattler team, very capable up and down throughout their lineup. You got Sardulich, who's been in that leadoff spot for quite some time now. Vidrine backing her up as that off-speed pitch is lofted, but a great leaping catch by the shortstop Hurd, as she took away potentially extra bases from Vidrine, as Sydney Wellman will dig in.
Outstanding catch there by Hurd, going back, and that's not easy to make, and she made it look graceful.
Dare I say Jeter-esque on that play right there, making it on the outfield grass. An exciting out number one, as Sydney Wellman will take her first at bat of this ball game. She tried to lay a bunt down, and it hits the netting. Rattlers have some solid speed over at first with Sardalich. Wellman at the dish, awaits the pitch from Walker. The 0-1. Strike 2. And Ruben, as you can feel from our windows being open, but as well on the screen in center field, the flag moving from right to left as that one right to our area, and great reflexes there, Ruben. Although I think I would have been the one in trouble.
I would have tried to save you there.
Are you sure about that? Are you sure about that? Because, you know, with me gone, you'd have the whole broadcast to yourself. Imagine that.
I might have to rethink my tactics there.
As that pitch in the dirt, 1-2.
No, but as you were saying, the wind will definitely play a factor here tonight, whether it's an advantage for the hitters or a nightmare essentially for the outfielders. We'll see if it plays a part.
And we've seen some balls carry out of the park over to the left side of the field as that one is fouled back and over the netting this time. 1-2, still the count to Wellman. Fans, tomorrow is day 2 of the Rattler Invitational as Wellman gets hit by that off-speed pitch, and she draws a 1-out base.
Hit by a pitch that puts Rattlers in first and second. That's going to bring up.
And Haley Richter now digging in. Richter recorded 2 RBIs last game, had herself a solid outing, but we've come to expect that from Haley, who in this ball game is the designated player as Wellman is covering first. 1-0 the count.
Richter is quite the hitter, as you say, Brian. I remember Wednesday night when they were taking on Our Lady of the Lake, the monster shot she hit to left to tie the game at 2s. It's quite a shot there. Probably hits it further than me.
That's why she's on the field and you're not.
Fair point, fair point.
And Richter, one of 3 Rattlers to go yard in that ball game, as he mentioned. She tied the ball game up in the following inning in the bottom of the 6th with Sardalich over at first. Taylor Vidrine hit a dream shot over the dead center field wall. Probably the furthest home run we've seen in this new stadium, this year-old stadium. And then right after Vidrine went yard, Jordan Alvarez able to get a hit, and not just any hit, got her first hit of the season to be a home run to left center field en route to a Rattlers 6-2 victory. And earlier today we saw Alex Rodriguez go yard with a grand slam as the 3-0 pitch into the dirt, and bases are now loaded for the Rattlers with Viana Gutierrez touchstone heading to the plate.
Both teams seeing bases loaded in their first inning of action. We'll see if the Rattlers can do a little better than Central Oklahoma and bring the runners home rather than strand them on the base path.
Numbers on Gutierrez touchstone. Batting 600 on the year. In 20 at-bats, she has 12 hits and 12 RBIs to go along with 2 home runs and 2 doubles. And time is called as looks like Central Oklahoma, understanding that they have quite the threat at the plate.
And the important thing to note here is that there is really no opportunity to walk her or even get away with not pitching to her. So we'll see what this Central Oklahoma pitcher Walker is made of.
And that pitch paints the outside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike to Gutierrez, touchdown.
1-1 is up.
That one popped high into the night sky at the edge of the warning track, and that will be a sacrifice fly. And Richter gets thrown out at second. And an inning-ending double play. But the Rattlers able to tack on 1 run. And so with that, we end the first inning with St. Mary's taking the 1-0 lead over Central Oklahoma. You are watching the Rattler Invitational right here on the Rattler Network.
With 12 premier institutions across 4 states, the members of the Heartland Conference are proud partners of their communities and NCAA Division II. We are committed to the academic and athletic success of our student athletes. The Heartland Conference offers a vibrant championship experience with schools that are nationally competitive, engaged with their communities, and supported by hundreds of thousands of fans who promote a positive game environment. To learn more about the Heartland Conference, visit us at heartlandsports.org. Choose Division II. Choose the Heartland Conference.
Howdy ho, ladies and gentlemen. Top of the second inning about to get started here at the softball stadium inside the park at St. Mary's University. Brian Magliuan sitting alongside Ruben Dominguez, bringing you day 1 of the 3-day Rattler Invitational. Some great softball action so far today, and it concludes with 2 nationally ranked teams. The number 13 Central Oklahoma Broncos and the number 4 St. Mary's Rattlers as the first pitch in there for strike 1 from Viana Gutierrez, touchdown. At the plate is Tori Collette. Count even at a ball and a strike. Count now 2-1. On deck is Trammell. And the count goes to 3-1. Gutierrez touchstone has struggled with the strike zone here. And Ruben, I'm not so sure it's her struggling with her location. It's just so much that the strike zone is being called tightly.
Yeah, that could play a huge factor in the pitcher's production from the circle, but also The wind could be a factor. And also, remember, she is playing a pretty stout team here with a good lineup. So there could be a number of things that could be the effect of this as she walks the... Oh, it's actually a strikeout.
Initially, we thought it was a strikeout, or a walk rather, as you mentioned. But you saw the little fist pump from Viana as she's able to strike out the leadoff batter. And that will bring up Trammell. And with that strikeout, that's Viana's first strikeout as that one hit hard to center. But that is caught by Nash.
You never know where that ball is going to end up with the wind blowing as it is, but Nash is able to make the play out at center.
That was hard hit, but Nash had plenty of room, and the wind might have been able to catch it and probably kept it in play for the Rattlers. Definitely not questioning it as Rogers now at the plate. Gutierrez touchdown, able to find the outside corner. One strike. 0-1 the count. That one grounded to Sardalich. Her throw across the diamond is in time for the final out of the inning. 3 up, 3 down. Go the Broncos as the Rattlers hold their 1-0 lead. Heading into the bottom of the second, you are watching Rattler Softball on the Rattler Network.
So much to celebrate in Division II. We're especially proud of our commitment to make a wish.
Division II student athletes the 10 initiative to raise funds and help grant wishes of children with life-threatening medical conditions.
Nearly $1 million have been raised, and hundreds of children's wishes have been granted. We play hard, we work hard, and we support others in need. Why? It's simple.
Because we care.
Bottom of the second just underway here. Brian Maglione alongside Ruben Dominguez. Thank you for joining us for the final game of day 1 of this 2005 Rattler Invitational. Leading off the inning for the Rattlers is Miranda Medina. Count 2-1 now. Pardon me, it's been a long day. I meant 2015 Rattler Invitational. Thank you, Ruben, for catching that.
We'll let it slide. We'll let it slide this time.
It definitely has been a long day. This tournament beginning at 10 o'clock. And just a great way to kick off our weekend. And the wheels, fortunately for this Rattler squad, not falling apart, but I don't know. The wheels on this broadcast might be, Ruben. Uh-oh.
Hey, don't put that on us.
No. For me, at least. I'm speaking for myself, of course. I can't speak for consummate professional like yourself, as that breaking ball misses in the dirt. Medina able to draw the leadoff walk.
Oh, Brian, you're too kind.
And now,
Medina gets the base on ball.
at the plate,
Number 22, Alex Rodriguez.
the double deuce, A-Rod, Alex Rodriguez, getting set to dig in. A-Rod, in her first plate appearance of the day, made it be known that she was here and ready to ball. She hit that monster grand slam as she shows bunt here. That bunt rolls foul. Had a lot of topspin on it as it spun back into foul territory. 0-1 the count. And Ruben, as I mentioned, A-Rod hitting that grand slam in game number 1, but not afraid to lay one down here as she tries to lay another bunt down. That just goes to show the type of team player that A-Rod is, and not just Alex, but the entire Rattler squad as a whole.
And like we were saying, the versatility in this lineup is unbelievable from the Rattlers. What they can do at the plate is something special, and I think that speaks a lot to the success they've had this year.
0-2 count to A-Rod. Alex will take that for a ball.
I couldn't help but think earlier, being named Alex Rodriguez, it's only fitting that you hit a grand slam.
Although in the past season, as that one is fouled back, in the past year, our Alex, way more productive than the Alex that wears number 13 for the Bronx Bombers, that's for sure.
Yeah, you're probably right on that one.
A-Rod able to take that pitch for a ball. Count all even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here's a 2-2, swung on and popped foul, and that into the bleachers, I suppose, or the stairs, nonetheless. It is foul and out of play. And Ruben, something both Joey Baseball and myself have said over the past year is the fact that Alex is one of the more methodical batters in this Rattler lineup. As you can see, stepping out after every pitch, getting her instructions from Coach Fields, and just her approach every at-bat is just done to a T. As she takes that pitch for a ball 4 as she draws the walk.
And as you talked about how methodical Alex is, she draws that walk, and now we see runners on first and second as Villa steps up to the plate. We'll see what she can do here with runners in position.
Amanda Villa, her first at-bat of the day, had the game off against Tarleton State. Rattlers will take on Tarleton State once again tomorrow. First pitch for that one slated for 2 o'clock. And then following that game, they will take on Texas A&M Commerce. As Villa tries to lay a bunt down, unable to, and count quickly goes to 0-2. Ruben, prior to the start of this game, we looked at the previous matchup between these two teams as Both teams faced each other in Tucson, Arizona, as Villa takes that pitch high and inside. Rattlers came away victorious 10-9 against the Broncos. What do you think that previous matchup, how much does that carry over? And it's been several weeks already, both teams well removed from that game, but is there any carryover from that Rattler 10-9 victory?
Well, even though the score was close, I think it did a world of good for the Rattlers, because with the success they have had this year, as the ball is drilled to right from Villa,
and one run scores. Amanda Villa able to loop one over second, and a RBI single as the Rattlers tack on one to their lead. They lead 2-0. A-Rod over at third now. Villa will be at first, and number 2, Hannah Fields at the plate. But Ruben, you were saying about the previous matchup between these two teams.
yes, Fields steps up here. I think it was really good that the Rattlers did pull out the victory close, because in a season where you had so much success, it is easy to get complacent as that ball is fouled away by Field. It's easy to get complacent, so for the girls to come in knowing that they only won by 1 run, I think they'll be really poised and focused not to lose and also to win the game.
And a brief timeout is called as Coach Fields making a substitution.
For St. Mary's will be number 21, Leanne Campos.
Over at third now, Leanne Campos. She'll be running for Rodriguez.
On 1 the count on Fields.
On 1 the count to Hannah Fields. And Fields holds up as she takes that pitch for ball 1. And Hannah will take that pitch for strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
1-2 count.
Fields fouls that one back towards our direction. Oh, that time not too quick on the hand there, partner.
I just kind of stepped back, you know. But what I will say is it's kind of amazing how deep this lineup is for the Rattlers. I know we said it a lot, but for Fields, such a good hitter to be at the 8th spot.
That one popped into the air, and that's an easy play for Hurd.
A bit of a curse of the commentator there, but
That's going to bring a number 15 to the plate, Nicole Sarlich.
and Sarlich stepping up now. She always seems to have runners on base when she comes up, and I think her production numbers show for that.
Runners at the corners, 1 out. And if you're able to hear this Rattler dugout, they are echoing what you're saying about Sarlich, saying nobody better. As that pitch well off the plate. 1-1 the count to Nicole Sarlich. And that pitch just a bit low. 2 balls, 1 strike to Sartlich. Sartlich pops that one back. On deck for the Rattlers is Taylor Vidrine. Sartlich tried to get a hold of that one, but that one foul and out of play.
And if you're Walker in the circle, you almost want to get a ground out here and see if they can force the double play, because with Vidrine coming up, and if Sartlich is able to reach, they might be in a world of trouble.
Well, it'll be tough to turn two as you have Via with great speed over at first, and Sartlich, who is quite the speedster herself at the plate. You got plenty of speed on the Rattler base paths with Campos over at third. Here's the 2-2. That one popped into the air, center field. That's caught. Tagging up is Campos, and she will slide in safely. Via will take second as the sac fly is executed to perfection by Sartlich and Campos.
Via goes over to second base. So it's 2 away. That's going to bring up number 19 left fielder Taylor
And
Green.
Good slide to the plate by Leanne. Able to slide just under the tag, or potential tag rather, by the catcher Trammell. And now here's Taylor Vidrine, low and inside, ball 1. Now one outside, but paints the outside corner. 1-1 the count to Vidrine. And so far this entire afternoon, we've seen the Rattlers able to put runs on the board in bunches. They've put a run up in the first inning, and now they put 2 here in the second. Just as you mentioned, the ongoing theme is this Rattler lineup a threat throughout, up and down, as Vidrine takes that pitch for ball 3, 3-1.
A real hitter's count here. We'll see what Vidrine can do.
Let's see if Walker tries to change her approach here. The 3-1 pitch, now one outside, and Taylor able to draw the 2-out walk.
Base on ball. Well, the base is loaded and 2 away. That brings up number 10,
Sydney Wellman at the plate now. And Ruben, one fun thing about being here at the softball stadium is the walk-up theme music of all these players. A nice variety. What are your thoughts on the different walk-up things? Do you have a favorite one in mind, or in particular?
I gotta say, the girls have some pretty good taste in their music, but I think, as the fans can attest to, Taylor Vidrine with her walk-up song as the ball is hit to second and the force out at first. But back to the music. Taylor Vidrine's walk-up song, she always accompanies it with a pretty good dance number at the plate, so I think you got to respect that one.
Oh, definitely, and you have to respect this. The Rattlers up 3-0 as we head to the top of the third. Central Oklahoma looking to bounce back. We'll be right back following this quick break. You are watching the 2015 Rattler Invitational. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Top of the third inning just underway here. Kaylee Brunson leading off for the Broncos. It is Brunson, Carroll, and Zedula due up this half inning for the Broncos. With so many teams here, I'm getting all the names mixed up, so my apologies.
But the more teams, the better the event. I mean,
most definitely, most definitely. We've seen some grade A softball here this afternoon in the park at St. Mary's. As the 1-1 pitch from Gutierrez touch-tone is bunted back to her. The throw to first is in time. Nicely done by Viana, as Shelby Carroll digs in. She's 0 for 1. Brian Maglione sitting alongside Ruben Dominguez. And Ruben, looks like you suffered an injury on the job during the break, but you're a tough customer, that's for sure. I've seen you play some soccer, and you've gotten hit quite a bit, as that hit to right center, and it'll be a stand-up double for Carroll as she looks to get things going for the Broncos here in the top of the third.
That's going to bring in second baseman number 5, Ali Ziadula.
Ziadula now digs in. 0 for 1 in this ball game. The pitch from Gutierrez, touch-tone outside, ball 1. The 1-0. That one low and outside, 2-0. And Ruben, a quick side note. Earlier today it was announced, finally official, 5 years in the making. Manny Pacquiao versus Floyd Mayweather Jr. What are your thoughts on that fight? Mayweather the 3-1 favorite, Pacquiao the 3-1 underdog. I know you're a Money Mayweather fan, so are you excited to see this fight finally happen?
Well, Brian, I will say that as we are both Yankees, I think there will be some heated competition as that is popped up to short and the play is made for the second out of the inning. Good catch there from Medina. But as we were saying, we will have some friendly competition in the booth after, or in the lead up to this fight, I should say. So I think Mayweather's gonna take it. You know, he is just fundamentally better than anybody I've ever seen, and I know you'll disagree with that, but I have my opinion, you have yours. Fair enough.
Fair enough, fair enough. Obviously, I am a Manny Pacquiao fan. Being of Filipino descent, it's kind of a given. And I'm just excited that we're finally going to get the fight that we've all been wanting to see over the past several years. Both fighters facing competition that not up to their level. Both Pacquiao and Mayweather are head above shoulders better than the rest of the current boxers. Two of the best of this generation, and we're finally getting to see that happen. So I'm just excited. May 2nd on pay-per-view. As that one fouled back by Zuckerman. Runner on second, 2 outs here in the top of the third. As we mentioned before, a big week in sports. We had the NBA All-Star Weekend. Russell Westbrook putting up 41 points inside Madison Square Garden for the second highest All-Star game scoring in a single game. The record still held by Wilt Chamberlain, who had 42 points in an All-Star game. Before Westbrook put up 41. Second best was Michael Jordan, who put up 40 in 1988 inside the old Chicago Stadium. Impressive performance from Westbrook as the inning concludes. No run score here in the top of the third as Rattlers come up with a 3-run advantage here on the Rattler Network. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Bottom of the third inning, just underway with that pitch from the new pitcher, Kelsey Berlin, entering the ball game. At the plate for the Rattlers, Haley Richter. Richter drew a walk her first time up, and she takes that pitch for Called strike one. 1-1 the count.
If you were a new pitcher coming into the game, this is one of the last batters you want to face in Haley Richter.
Two and one now the count to Haley Richter.
2-1 the count.
Kelsey Berlin this season with a 4.09 ERA. 0-1 as Richter lines a shot down the right side. That's a base hit. It gets by the right fielder. And Richter will dig for three. And Richter will get to third with a stand-up triple.
And as I was saying, Haley Richter at the plate, she brought the Berlin wall down there, getting to third on a great at-bat.
And that will bring up Viana Gutierrez touchtone.
Stepping out now, Viana Gutierrez touchdown.
Viana takes that pitch for a ball. Three balls, no strikes. And Viana lifts one to right. Tagging up is Richter, and she will slide in safely. Sack fly for Viana, and the Rattlers lead balloons to 4.
So one away, and the base is cleared. That's going to bring up Miranda Medina.
Miranda Medina now at the plate. Hard shot by Medina over to short. And well done there by Hurd. As now stepping up to the plate, double deuce, A-Rod. Two outs, nobody on. That pitch in there for called strike one. 1-1 the count.
Good cut there by A-Rod. Goes foul, but we'll see if she can get this one in play as she's looking at a 1-2 count.
Hey D-Dub, hey D-Dub, hey. 1-2 the count to A-Rod. Ooh, that one well high. And we harped on this last game. The Rattlers An energetic bunch with their multiple chants as the 2-2 pitch to A-Rod. High in the zone. Full count.
Oh, count 3-2.
And A-Rod will take first on a 2-out walk here in the bottom of the third.
Via two-way running first.
Now Amanda Villa to the plate.
I might have to change my name about those walk-ups. I didn't realize Villa had Drake playing.
Some of these players actually have more than one walk-up theme, and it's at the discretion of our sound director, our soundboard controller. She goes by another name, Jasmine. So it's at the discretion, and some players like a bit of variety.
Good job on Jasmine's end.
And Villa is thrown out at first. That'll retire the side. Rattlers tack on 1 run off the sacrifice. And after 3 complete innings, St. Mary's leads 4-0. You are watching the 2015 Rattler Invitational. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Leading off the top of the 4th for the Broncos is Hurd. Brian Maglio, Ruben Dominguez with you on this breezy Friday night here in the Alamo City. Rattlers lead 4-0 over the number 13 team in the country. Gutierrez touchdown. That pitch finds the plate. 2-1.
Breezy to say the least. The papers are flying everywhere, but we're hanging in there, aren't we, Brian?
And it's kind of me wanting to be in the elements. We could easily close the windows, but we want to pretend we're like the players as Viana able to make the catch for out number 1.
That's going to bring up Ashton Smith.
Well, I will say one thing. I don't know if I can be like the players when I see Viana make plays like that.
Making it look easy. And as the night has gone on, the wind has picked up. It has been blowing from left to right on your screen for most of the afternoon. As the 1-0 pitch from Viana in there, strike 1, 1-1. Line shot right back up the middle. This time Viana unable to get a glove on it. As it'll be a 1-out single for Collette. And that'll bring up.
That's going to bring up Corey for it.
Rather, that was Smith with a single. And that'll bring up Collette. 1 out here in the top of the 4th. Earlier we touched on how this week has been a big week in sports. We touched on NBA All-Star Game. Big week for birthdays too. On Wednesday, we celebrated Coach Donna Field's birthday, who just so happens to share a birthday with another not so, well, I wouldn't want to say not so accomplished Rattler, but in comparison to Coach Fields, definitely not so much accomplished, but he's accomplished quite a bit nonetheless. Our very own David Tovar celebrating his 24th birthday on Wednesday. Not to mention Monday, my little sister, she turned 19, and then on Tuesday, the GOAT, Michael Jordan, turned 52, and today, the round mound of rebound, Charles Barkley, celebrating his 52nd birthday. So big week for birthdays and a big week of sports. The Rattler baseball team was in action earlier today. Joe Rodriguez was on the call on the Rattler Network 2. Over at Dixon Stadium, Rattlers taking both games of a doubleheader versus the University of Mary, as the walk is given with 1 out. Runners on first and second, and that'll bring up Trammell.
To add to your birthday bit, word on the street is Haley Richter is having a birthday this weekend, the cover girl of our game day production program.
That's correct. Haley Richter celebrating a birthday tomorrow, and she'll be in action along with these Rattlers as they'll take on Tarleton State tomorrow, and then they will take on Texas A&M Commerce. Quick timeout called on the field. Rodriguez and Gutierrez touch-tone with a brief discussion. Runners on first and second. Smith at second, Collette at first, Trammell at the plate. She swings at one hard, deep down the left field line. It is gone, and just like that, with one swing of the bat, Central Oklahoma has cut this Rattler lead to 1. 4-3 now is the score. What a hit by Trammell.
And I've seen a lot of shots out of this ballpark as of late, but that has to be one of the biggest. My word.
There was no doubt about that one, as Coach Donna Fields will have a quick talk with her pitcher. Central Oklahoma making it a ball game. 4-3 the score. Four to 3 is the score following that brief timeout. Still pitching is Gutierrez, touch tone. Breaking ball in there for called strike one. And Ruben, you and I were still in quite a bit of shock from that monster home run. You rarely see Viana give up a monster shot like that.
Very peculiar situation now for Viana, but after the talk with Coach Fields out at the circle with the rest of her teammates, we'll see if she can settle down and ultimately get the Rattlers out of this inning.
The 1-1. That one in there. And 1-2.
And with pitches like that, I think she can.
And you could sense in Viana's demeanor, she's a competitor, and you know that she's going to attack this at bat with full aggression. As she'll try to take Rogers down. The 2-2 pitch from Viana. Another off-speed pitch, just misses. Full count now. And let's see if Viana elects to go with her off-speed pitch, which throughout her years has been her go-to pitch. Or will she bring the heat? The 3-2. She brought the heat, and it is swung on and missed. Rogers goes down swinging. Viana with her third strikeout of the ball game.
A third strikeout and a sizzling one at that. I'd like to see the miles per hour on that one.
And that one with a lot of aggression. And Viana, that's the mark of a great player, a great competitor. Just when you're faced with adversity, you just rise above it. And another beauty of a pitch, mixing up speeds as she's able to find the plate yet again. 0-2, quickly the count. And Ruben, if you're Viana, do you waste the pitch here or do you go for the strikeout?
With the form she's in, I think she'll go for it.
And she gets the strikeout, strike three, as Brunson gets caught looking. And that'll do it for the top of the fourth, but not before Central Oklahoma cuts into this Rattler lead. They trail now by one. St. Mary's looking to respond as they're due up next right here on the Rattler Network. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Bottom of the 4th inning. Our scoreboard taking a bit of time to get adjusted as Field's bunt attempt is foul. 0-1 the count. Alongside Ruben Dominguez, I'm Brian Maglione. Thank you for joining us on this Friday afternoon, day 1 of the Rattler Invitational, the 2015 Rattler Invitational. Big weekend here at St. Mary's. Baseball will be in action again tomorrow. You could catch that game on the Rattler Network 2, while you could catch all the games happening here in field number 1 as Fields grounds that over to first. Rogers will take it to the bag herself, out number 1. All the games tomorrow during this Rattler Softball Invitational that are played here in Field 1 will be broadcast to you on the Rattler Network. But due to staffing and assignments, we'll only be able to have broadcasters at the Rattler games. Ruben, both you and I were over at field number 2 as first pitch to Sardalich went for a ball as it squeaks foul for strike 1. 1-1 the count. But Ruben, we were out in field number 2, Texas A&M International versus Texas A&M Commerce. An interesting affair between two A&M teams. And we saw Chrissy Sardalich, Nicole Sardalich's sister, play in that game, and she had quite the play over at center field earlier today, making a nice sliding grab, robbing a hitter from extra bases. And that will be an exciting matchup this Sunday as the Rattlers will conclude this invitational against A&M International.
Good softball pedigree in that Sardalich family, I have to say.
And it's kind of eerie how similar both sisters are, as Nicole able to draw the walk. It's amazing to see the similarities. Last year when A&M International came to visit, our very own extraordinary photographer, Mr. Tony Morano, he captured both Sardalich sisters during their pre-at-bat routines, and it was like looking in a mirror, except they just had different jerseys on. It was quite the sight to behold as Taylor Vadrine takes the first pitch for strike 1. The 0-1 to Vadrine, grounded over to second. Potential double play ball, they misplay it, and Sardalich will try and dig for a third, which she's able to. Good heads-up base running there by Sardalich.
And runners go to the corner and on the field there. The runners on the corner.
And Ruben, good heads-up base running by Nicole. As she slid feet first to second, she popped right back up, kind of like Johnny Damon in the 2009 World Series when he tried to stole second and then ended up stealing third due to the shift over to the right side. And no throw will be made as Vadrine takes second, standing up.
More great base running there from Vadrine getting to second, and now we look at a situation where ultimately Wellman could potentially bring home these two runners.
And as he touched on at the top of this broadcast, there's no getting around this Rattler lineup. If you let Wellman on base, if you intend or if you pitch around her and she gets to first, you have Haley Richter at the plate due up next. And then after Richter, you got Gutierrez as that one popped high into the air. shallow center field. Sardulich tagging up the throw well off the mark, and Sardulich will score, and Vidrine will tag up and get to third. Just an overall inaccurate throw from Brunson at center. I think it was more of her trying to get the ball out of her glove as quickly as possible. But instead she paid the price with the inaccurate throw. As we see over at the third baseline, Taylor Vidrine with the dance moves. Richter takes for strike one. 2 outs here in the bottom of the fourth inning. Rattlers able to tack on another run. They have scored in every inning in this ball game as Richter swings and misses. And she falls behind 0-2. Bit of activity over in the Rattler bullpen. Two Rattler pitchers warming up as the 0-2 pitch is lined to center, and that will score Vidrine. Another RBI for Haley Richter on the day. She has 3 RBIs total. Her first RBI of the ball game. St. Mary's up 6-3 with Viana Gutierrez touch tone up next.
Viana Gutierrez touchdown.
First pitch to Viana, missing 1-0. And Berlin having a bit of difficulty now facing this part of the Rattler lineup. And Viana tried to get a swing and tried to get contact, but missing. 1-1 the count. The 1-1 pitch off speed and into the seats. And Ruben, throughout the course of this day, we've seen our fair share of softballs going out of the yard. Over at field number 2, the intramural field, we saw a ball make its way from that field over to this part of the park at St. Mary's as Viana strikes out to retire the side. Rattlers lead 6-3 as we head to the top of the 5th. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. The top of the 5th inning going on right now. It's Carol Zjadula and Zuckerman due up this half inning as that one popped foul back out of play.
The big Z's for OCU.
Here's the 0-1 from Gutierrez, touchstone. And that misses. 1-1 the count. Ruben, we've been talking about how big of a weekend this is for sports. I feel like I sound like a broken record as that one popped high into the air. Sarlich calling for it. And that's one away.
That's out number 1.
The rest of this weekend we have Rattler softball. Tomorrow we have Rattler baseball in action. And then Monday and Tuesday we have Rattler golf. This past week it was the women's golf team in action. And they took 4th place in the team competition. 4th out of 18 teams, an impressive showing from the Rattlers who hosted the tournament over at the Dominion over by UTSA. And then this coming week, Monday and Tuesday, the men will take their turn. Always fun to see our Rattlers in action. For more information, log on to rattlerathletics.com where you can find the schedule for all your favorite Rattler teams.
And mentioning all those sports, we also have tennis on the cards tomorrow as the teams take on my old school, Midwestern State. And that should be a pretty good matchup for regional concerns.
So a packed weekend. And we're glad that you could join us as that one popped into shallow left. Vidrine there. And that is 2 away with Zuckerman due up.
That's where we have Brooke Zuckerman.
Normally this would be the part of the broadcast where I ask you if you have any plans for the weekend, but the obvious answer is your plans are seeing more of me.
Only plans with you, Brian.
0-1 the count to Zuckerman. That one hit hard to right center field, but Nash able to track it down for out number 3. 3 up, 3 down, go the Broncos. We head to the bottom of the 5th inning. Rattlers lead 6-3 as you're watching the 2015 Rattler Invitational right here on the Rattler Network. Miranda Medina at the plate now for the Rattlers. It'll be Medina, Rodriguez, and Villa. Sitting alongside Ruben Dominguez, I'm Brian Magliuan. Thank you for joining us. Bottom of the fifth, Rattlers hold a 3-run lead against the number 13 team in the country, Central Oklahoma. A battle between two ranked teams in the country. Central Oklahoma number 13, St. Mary's number 4. These two teams played each other on February 8th over in Tucson, Arizona. The Rattlers victorious 10-9 in what was an offensive outburst for both teams, as the Rattlers were able to squeak by with a 1-run victory. Right now, holding on to a 3-run lead. As we reset the game for you, St. Mary's has scored in every inning. They scored 1 in the first, 2 in the second, 1 in the third, and 2 in the fourth. So if this trend continues, the Rattlers are due for a run here. They were up 4-0 heading into the top of the fourth, as that one popped high into the air and just out of the reach of the defense, as off our screen in the on-deck circle, A-Rod went and hid for cover. Count 2 balls, 2 strikes. Rattlers were up 4-0 at one point until a 3-run shot changed all that. And now we are here in the bottom of the fifth. And a nice pitch on the outside corner, able to ring up Medina for out number 1.
That's going to be Alex Rodriguez.
Here's the 1-0 pitch to Rodriguez. Same pitch, same location, same rather different result. I take all that back. Count all even at 1 ball, 1 strike. Trammell trying to frame that one, but the umpire calling it outside. 2 balls, 1 strike to A-Rod. Rodriguez took a good cut, but unable to make contact. Count all even at 2 balls, 2 strikes. On deck is Amanda Villa. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Berlin deals. That one bounces in the dirt outside. 3 balls, 2 strikes now to the Eagle Pass, Texas native. And Alex lost track of the count as she took ball 4. Was anticipating another pitch as she walked away from the batter's box, and the home plate umpire had to tell her a couple times, hey, that was ball 4. A-Rod gladly jogged over for the 1-out walk. Ruben, do you ever find yourself so immersed in a game that you kind of lose track of time, or you kind of forget the situation, you're just more focused on making the play?
Well, I think in the sports I play, there's not really an opportunity, as that's bunted over to first, and Villa beats out the throw. And what a great play to move the runner and also get on base. 2 on now with 1 out. Good stuff there by the Rattlers. But as I was saying, I don't think the sports I play allow me to really get caught up. But I know, as baseball and softball players can attest to, sometimes you do forget outs and balls and strikes. So it is important to take a peek every once in a while over at that big old scoreboard.
Fields trying to lay a bunt down, but she'll take it for strike 1. I myself, when I used to play basketball, actually, obviously when I was younger and not as experienced, I would find myself more concerned about trying to make the right play, and before you know it, you hear the buzzer sounding. And one instance in particular that has still kind of haunted me to this day. The clock is running down, halftime is approaching, and we're trying to get a shot off before the end of the half, and I'm taking the ball out, and I didn't know my positioning on the floor. I was just more focused on trying to get the ball in play. I get called for a violation because I didn't take the ball out. I was still inbounds when I inbounded the ball. And I got a lashing from my coach thereafter. But, you know, as Troy Bolton would say, get your head in the game. Shout out to all you High School Musical fans, as the double play is turned. Hurd catches it on the line and takes it to second, as A-Rod got caught off the base. So Rattlers go down. They strand a runner. 6-3 is the score as we head to the top of the 6th. Broncos due up right after this. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. And with that pitch, the 6th inning is underway, and Villa able to snag it out of the air for out number 1.
That's going to bring up Ashton Smith to the plate.
Ashton Smith at the plate now. She is 1 for 2 so far this afternoon. Rattler fans, gear up for softball and baseball season as they are getting into the swing of things. Check out RattlerGear.com, where you can get 10% off of all sweaters and sweatshirts if you order now. Great fast delivery from RattlerGear.com. As that off-speed pitch misses 1-1. And Ruben, we've seen some pretty nice stuff from RattlerGear.com. I myself purchasing a Rattler basketball, not sweater, but hoodie. Some good stuff on there. You could also find decals and flags and magnets, you name it. All your Rattler souvenirs. As strike 2 swinging, Smith thought she had a hold of one.
And as I know from experience, the shipping is fast and very efficient. I have to say, I needed a jacket for a function we had, and 2 days it was in. So, as that is roped to left, and Madrine with a great catch out in left field.
And Taylor got a good jump on it as she was able to catch it, as he said, on a line. And that will bring up Tori Collette. Collette reached base on a walk. Her other time at the plate, struck out. Viana Gutierrez, 73 pitches so far this ball game. She's allowed 3 hits and walked 3, and allowed that 1 home run. That is the only runs of the game for the Broncos, and she has struck out 4 so far. For those of you keeping tabs at home, during the great strikeout race of the spring, Viana ahead in the strikeout race against Matt McLean, but still plenty of season left for both softball and baseball. That one missing low. 3 balls, 1 strike. And Ruben?
But I heard Matt pitched today, apparently, and had a pretty good outing for his first of the season, I think.
Had a solid outing indeed. Kept the University of Mary scoreless as Viana able to find the zone there. 3-2 the count. McLean had a solid outing indeed. As Viana gets set to deal the payoff pitch, the 3-2. That one poked at and fouled away.
And also in that baseball game over at Dixon, the Rattlers turned a triple play.
Yes, the Rattlers did turn a triple play. I believe it was in the 4th inning, I want to say. I'm not too certain. I'll have to check the archive. But a historic day indeed as Viana Gutierrez with the strikeout. 5th strikeout of the game for Viana as she gave a little fist pump afterwards. Rattlers lead by 3 as we head to the bottom of the 6th. Rattlers 6, Broncos 3. You are watching the 2015 Rattler Invitational exclusively on the Rattler Network.
With 12 premier institutions across 4 states, the members of the Heartland Conference are proud partners of their communities and NCAA Division II. We are committed to the academic and athletic success of our student athletes. The Heartland Conference offers a vibrant championship experience with schools that are nationally competitive, engaged with their communities, and supported by hundreds of thousands of fans who promote a positive game environment. To learn more about the Heartland Conference, visit us at heartlandsports.org. Choose Division II. Choose the Heartland Conference.
Leading off for the Rattlers, Nicole Sardalich.
Number 15, third baseman, Nicole Sardalich.
It will be Sardalich, Vadrine, and Wellman due up this inning for the Rattlers as they look to tack on to their 3-run lead. Sitting alongside me is Ruben Dominguez. I'm Brian Magliuan. We appreciate you spending your Friday night with us here at the park at St. Mary's University. Man, it's impressive all the chance that the team has for all their players. As Sardalich rips one down the line and left, giving chase to it and able to make the grab, sliding in foul territory. Well done by Carroll.
Yeah, great play by Carroll over there and left. We saw Wednesday the OLLU left fielder was unable to make a play on a similar hit ball by Sardalich, but there Carroll comes up with the goods and gets the first out of the inning.
And I think that ball that was hit just now by Sardalich was a bit further into foul territory than the one you're talking about on Wednesday. But nonetheless, a great play by Carroll, able to get to it. And you're right, Ruben, that play on Wednesday was the turning point as Sardalich was able to stay alive in the at-bat, and she was able to get on base, and ultimately the Rattlers prevailed with their 6-2 victory. The 2-0 pitch to Vadrine. She turns on one. That goes into the outfield and out of the reach of a diving Jadula. And a one-out single for the Dream Vadrine.
That puts the Rattler at first base.
And just as the dancing we're all accustomed to see from Taylor in the batter's box, she dances her way over to first.
And that'll bring up Sydney Wellman. Wellman, 0 for 2. Reached base on a walk as Vadrine showed intentions of stealing second, but retreats back to first. The 1-0. Wellman gave a good hack at it, but caught nothing but air. One's across the board. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Rattlers lead by 3. Last chance for them to add on to their lead as Wellman lays a bunt down, but it rolls foul. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And for all our San Antonio Spurs fans out there, the Spurs are in action against the #1 team in the NBA, the Golden State Warriors, the Splash Brothers, Steph Curry and Klay Thompson. Definitely a tough matchup for the defending NBA champions, as they are playing their second game in just as many nights. A disappointing loss last night to the Los Angeles Clippers. as they continue on their rodeo road trip. The 2-2. Wellman gets a hold of it, but that one lofted to left down the line, and Vadrine will head back to first. And that is 2 gone, with Richter getting set to bat.
All the action seems to be going to Carroll out there and left. She's done a great job coming out with 2 outs in the inning.
Ooh, off-speed pitch. Perfect pitch to steal on if you're Vadrine, and she was able to do so right there.
I was unaware of her stealing capabilities coming into this game, but she's already taken 2 bags tonight. It's a good display and base running from Taylor Vadrine.
And Ruben Taylor, one of the Rattlers' fastest players. She was one of the team's leaders last season in stolen bases, and she's on full display, as he said, tonight, stealing her 2nd base of the ball game. 1 ball, 1 strike to Haley Richter. Richter rips one to right center field into the gap. That will score Vadrine. Richter digging in for 2, and she'll stay at second with a stand-up double. Another RBI for Haley Richter. That's 2 on the game. And the Rattlers lead 7-3. Now Gutierrez touch-tone at the plate.
Second base, that's going to bring up Viana Gutierrez, touchdown.
Berlin deals, and that one just paints the outside corner. No balls, 1 strike. And Ruben, we spoke about this on Wednesday. When a pitcher faces a fellow pitcher, it builds for quite an interesting matchup. Normally, the pitcher that's in the box, as that one popped up, and that'll end the inning. Normally the pitcher that's in the box is at a disadvantage, but Viana, unlike in that situation there, normally sure-handed with the bat, but on that exchange right there, Berlin able to get the advantage there. As we head to the top of the 7th, the Broncos have one last chance. They trail by 4. They're going to need the big bats, as the Rattlers eyeing their 2nd win of the day right after this. Last chance for the Broncos. It'll be Trammell, Rogers, and Brunson due up this half inning. Rattlers lead 7-3. Brian Maglione sitting alongside the one and only Ruben Dominguez. Rattlers have scored in every inning with exception to the fifth. As the count goes to 1-1. Ooh, that was a good looking off speed pitch, but Trammell able to hold up just enough. 2-1 the count. That one just misses the outside corner. 3-1 now the count.
And this is the same position where we saw Trammell homer. And now we'll see if she can yield the same result here.
Tried to give the same result with that type of swing, but she fouled it back. The count all full now. 3 balls, 2 strikes. The twist and pitch. That one hit high into the air. Shallow center field. A diving snag by Danielle Nash. And she robbed Trammell of potentially extra bases. What a play.
Like you said there, Brian, great play by Danielle Nash out there in center field. She's had the ball hit to her a couple of times tonight, but that is by far the best catch we've seen, and it gets the out there for the first of the inning.
Rogers now at the plate. First pitch. Just a bit wide. 1 ball, no strikes. And those are the type of plays that win you ball games. Danielle Nash, no stranger to making big catches over at center field. Two balls, no strikes to Rogers. Gutierrez touch tone deals. Swing and a miss. 2-1 now the count.
Strike 1, 2-1 the count.
Another swing and a miss, and the count all even at 2 balls, 2 strikes. The twist and pitch. Ooh, breaking ball didn't break enough, and now the count all full at 3-2. And the high heater finds the plate as Gutierrez touch tone able to get her 6th strikeout of the ball game. And the Rattlers now 1 out away from taking the W. Beautiful pitch on the outside corner. No balls, 1 strike, and it makes that tough first inning a distant memory. That's why we play 7. Oh, beautiful pitch. And if you've never seen a pitcher in the zone, well, you're bearing witness to one right here. Viana Gutierrez, touch-tone, looking to put the final touches on this Rattler victory. The 0-2. Swung on and fouled away. We'll do it over again. Ruben, hard to believe, earlier in the ball game, Viana threw 9 consecutive balls, and now she's gone on to strike out 6. Just unbelievable.
She gets better with time, just like fine wine.
The 0-2 pitch swung on and missed. She struck her out, and that's the ball game. Viana Gutierrez, touch-tone, finishing the game in style, striking out the final 2 batters en route to Rattler victory. 7-3 the final, as Viana Gutierrez, touch-tone, strikes out 7. Rattlers improve their record to 13-1. Ruben, your final thoughts on an exciting day 1 here at the Rattler Invitational?
Well, great display by all the teams, and especially the Rattlers here in their home stadium at their home tournament. Just an all-around great display in both games, as the girls put on a great show for the home fans here and ultimately came out with 2 victories. And we'll see if they can duplicate their results tomorrow, when they take on 2 more opponents.
And those opponents tomorrow, Tarleton State. Rattlers beat them earlier on today. They will take on the Texans tomorrow. First pitch scheduled for 2 p.m. And then they will take on Texas A&M Commerce. First pitch for that one scheduled for 4 p.m., but all times are up to, are subject to change. There we go. It's been a long day. But the Rattlers conclude the day in style. They win 7-3 against the University of Central Oklahoma. As Ruben mentioned earlier, the Rattlers will be playing tomorrow and on Sunday. Stay tuned to RattlerAthletics.com for more information on the 2015 Rattler Invitational. For right now, for Ruben Dominguez, I'm Brian Magliuan. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow right back here on the Rattler Network.